Hi, it's me, Vicky Marie, with a glass of cranberry. But also, not only a glass of cranberry, I have to be honest as well. I've got a glass of cranberry, and then for when I finish the cranberry, I've got some wine as well. So I'm well stocked up. I'm well stocked up for the life. I can't, my camera's weird at the moment. So here I am. And thank you. Look at you. There's lots of you here. Thank you for being here. And as always, what I just want to do first is say thank you. Put my little tacker on for a little while, my little ticker. Thank you so much for all your likes, all your subscribes, all of you that have joined as members, anyone who sent me a super chat, a Ko-fi, sent me an email, commented. Even the trolleys, thank you so much. And thank you to everyone who's there in chat. And I'm going to say hello to everybody in a moment. But thank you to those of you that are watching at home. I know not everybody likes to join in the chat, and that's fine. Thank you so much for participating in any way in my channel. And I just wanted to say, you may have noticed because I went with the Peter sort of folding debacle, you know, with the revelations of Peter. I took quite a lot of my Nicola Bulley content down because everything I said was based on the fact that I trusted Peter and that Nicola was not in the river, and you know, so everything was coloured by that. Anyway, and what I was going to do was go through it all and have a look at it and decide, but I just haven't got time because there's so many videos. So I just decided to take them off private and release them to public again. So it may seem like there's a lot of videos came out all at once. And they may seem irrelevant now after things that have happened or the inquest. Anyway, I've re-released them, and if people want to watch them, they're there to watch. But just to be aware that they are not current videos. They're videos from a while ago and before the College of Policing review as well, before the Peter Folding revelations, etc. So, you know, that just be aware of that. But anyway, that was it. I just wanted to tell you that. What was the next thing I wanted to tell you? Oh, well, I want to say hello now. I want to say hello to everybody. Let's have a look. Okay, so, gosh, lots of you here and you're all chatting as usual. So hope you've all had a brilliant day, by the way, and I hope you're all looking forward to Christmas one way or the other. I know it's not the best time for everybody, but anyway, I just hope you're all fine. I hope you're enjoying the advent calendars. I'm hoping they're making you smile every day at least for 10, 15 minutes, 30 minutes a day. Something silly to make you smile, whether you're looking forward to Christmas or not. I can't decide. I sort of am, and I still have this fear of looking forward to Christmas. You know, ever since my friend died on Christmas Day, it's like this sort of, I want to look forward to it, but I'm sort of nervous about it because things, you know, bad things happen at Christmas just like at any other time of year. But what I have decided is at least if you look forward to it, even if it's an absolute nightmare and it's not a good Christmas, at least you've had the fun of looking forward to it. So that's it as far as I'm concerned. So anyway, going back up to in the chat, Chumba was here first. Hi Chumba, hi Daisy May, hi Kelly. Hi Rio. Rio's working again. This work, it just gets in the way. I suppose you're working a little bit more maybe for Christmas. Hi Katrina. Hi Jackie with the CQ. Hi Tina. Hi Nick. Hi David. Hi Jackie Young with the CK. We have a lot of Jackies on here. Hi David. Oh, Jackie, Greg's mince pies and sausage rolls. I haven't even bought a mince pie yet. I haven't done anything really. Only the tree and, you know, a few decorations and very few decorations. I will be a Vicky Marie lastminute.com as I am always with everything. But yeah, mince pies, must get some mince pies actually. Tina, I think I've said hello to Tina. Hi Tina. Hi DMV, glad you're here. Hi Julie Robinson. Going down. Now, hi, she's off her rocker. I hope that's not aimed at me. Anyway, hi, welcome to the chat. Hi, Caroline Blackledge. Morning, of course, for you, isn't it? Hi, Annie Brown. Hi, Charlie Angel. Yes, you always have fish and chips on a Friday, don't you, Charlie? Hi, Mello. Gosh, I know Charlie's food routine, but I know what he's going to have more than I know what I'm going to have. Hi, Jim. Hi, Jim and the goats. How are you, goats? Yeah, fish and chips. I haven't had fish and chips for ages. Hi, Mal. Yeah, lucky Jim, David. He's lucky Jim now. Charlie, when you have fish and chips, do you have mushy peas? Because I can tell if you have mushy peas, you must be a northerner. Because when I moved to Reading, it's very strange in Reading because you ask for mushy peas and they like looked at you like you just fell off the moon or something. What mushy peas? And the other thing they don't like, well, I noticed in Reading they didn't often serve was gravy on your chips. You know, in the north it's like, you know, fish chips, mushy peas, and gravy. And yes, in the south they sort of looked at you a bit sideways if you asked for gravy. But they sold pickled eggs, which was just like, who's going to want to eat a pickled egg? I can't imagine anything worse. But there you go. That's a north-south divide as far as fish and chips are concerned. Yeah, everyone's getting hungry now thinking of fish and chips. So Nick, hi Chumba, new member. Who's a new member? Oh, yeah, that's it. Chumba's been a member for quite a long time. Hi Ocean Blue. Does it look Christmassy, Jackie? Does it look Christmassy? I do feel a little bit Christmassy. And of course, doing the advent calendars every day, and that makes me feel more Christmassy. Good, Charlie. I'm glad you're looking forward to Christmas. Oh, thank you, Annie. It's just literally just stuck up in a bun. Hi, Jam White. You've not seen the calendar. You've not seen the Christmas calendar with do you mean the Christmas pictures? Anyway, the calendars are on the shop. Anyway. Oh, Nick thought Chumba had been welcomed as a new member. No, Chumba's I don't mean she's an old member in years. I mean she's an old member in that she's been a member for quite a long time. Ah, right. Yeah, you must be. Maybe you were watching a video where, yeah, I've re-uploaded all the Nicola Bulley content because I had put it on private because of all the revelations from Peter Folding and everything. It just sort of, I was just thinking half the things that I say now don't make sense if it's true what he's saying. So anyway, hi Amethyst. Oh, hi Ruth. You've got a kidney infection. I'm not doing the merch tonight. I've decided. Well, the thing is, because what I want people to be aware of is, I may show the shop tonight, but the problem is it's too late now to get an order for Christmas. I think the last day was yesterday for anything going for Christmas. So just to let people know that. So Caroline's just getting up. it's weird to think of, isn't it? When you sit and think about it, people all over the world, there's people getting up, there's people going to bed, there's people having their lunch. You know, it's just all going on all around the world. Everybody doing different things. Hi, Desi. Salt and vinegar, Charlie, but no mushy peas. Hi, Lulu. You don't worry, Desi, you haven't missed anything. Of literally just getting through the hellos at the moment. Hi, Kelly. A local, right, so Kelly says there's a local milk bar here in Melbourne called Chips and Gravy. A milk bar? What do you mean a milk? What is a milk bar? What does a milk bar mean? Is that an Australian thing for like a takeaway or something? But yeah, chips and gravy. You always have. Well, I don't like gravy on my chips actually. I like a separate tub of gravy that I can dip the chips in. Hygiene. Yes, Nick, I think you probably watched an old members video because I've re-uploaded all these videos. So, oh, Mellow, festive without being OTT. Thank you. Oh, as if I would never be OTT. What? Vinegar? So John says vinegar is watered down these days. Oh my God. How awful. So Polish shops sell old-fashioned 10%. Well, I've got some vinegar in the cupboard at the moment. Tomorrow or later, I'm going to have a look, see. I've never even thought to look at the strength of vinegar. You know, it just wouldn't have occurred to me to get vinegar and think, well, what strength is it? I didn't even know they did different strengths. It's like wine, isn't it? Okay, I'm going to look at that. So supermarkets only sell 5% strength vinegar. So I think maybe at some point in this live even I might go and have a look at what the percentage is. Sarsens, I think the one I've got, or it might be Mercadona, it might be, I don't know what it is now. I'm going to have to go and have a look in a minute. You know that, don't you? Oh, thank you, Nick. So there you go. I can mention it now because Nick's mentioned it. Nick ordered some photos. Ordered some wine glasses. True crime and a bit of wine. Hasn't arrived yet. I don't think the email, but we'll look again later. Oh, Kelly, do you have a teenager? Listen, my son is still not nocturnal. He's been nocturnal. You know, he likes to be up all night and sleep all day, even now. And he's how old is he? 26. Hot chocolate. You don't like gravy on your chips, Charlie. You must be from the south then. Oh, looks jolly there, Jan. Yeah, thank you. Mellow, yeah. Right, I'm gonna have to go in a minute just to have a look. Right. I've got to just go and look at this vinegar because that's getting on. I'm just fascinated now. I never even knew vinegar had a strength. So just talk amongst yourself a moment. Of course, I can't see it because the writing's so small. Let's have a look if I get it in the light. So, I just can't read it. I need some, I've got some Look, it's really small writing. Maybe you can see it better on there. No, can't see it. No, and I haven't got any, like a little pair of reading glasses or anything. I don't really wear glasses. Anyway, I'll have to have a look tomorrow because it's too dark in here. I can't see. Oh, I wonder if I can see if I put my see. Look what you've started now. I've got to find out this. What strength is this? I can't now. I can read it now, but I can't see the strength. Right. I don't know. I'm going to have to Google it or something, but that is going to annoy me that until I find out. But I'll let you know. Sarson's. If anybody can Google what strength is Sarson's vinegar. Right. Sorry, that's a total distraction. Hi, Wendy. I hope I haven't missed anyone coming in. I've sort of got all confused where I am now in the chat. So if anyone gets a chance to Google what strength is Sarson's vinegar. Jim, you know you're not allowed to swear on my chat. You're saying Man United. That's one of the swear words. Oh. Craft brewed. Right. So, okay, so I'm still going down. Sorry, I got sidetracked there with the strength of the vinegar. Well, that's a good idea. 6%. Goodness me, 6%. So it's not. Look, we've started this big vinegar debate now, and that's not even what we're supposed to be talking about. 5%. It's going down all the time. 5%, Jean says. So according to Jan, she says that proper vinegar is supposed to have 10%, but 10% strength. No, it's not alcohol, but it's acid. Okay. So it's got 5 or 6% acid rather than proper vinegar. Hi, Christina. Christina's saying 5 as well. Ah, interesting. Yes, please remember to like, because we've got fixated on vinegar now. Okay, so there you go. Lovely. True crime and a glass of wine. There they are, and they're on my shop. Thank you for sending that. Hi, Daisy May. Okay, so I thought what we would start off on. So, hi, Maria. Well, at the moment, I'm only drinking cranberry juice, but I will very shortly be drinking some rosé wine. So I've got 2. I have got a bottle of Sarson's as well, but I won't be drinking that. That was for the inquiry into the acidity. Hi, Maggie. Oh, you're just on the dregs now, Nick. You have to open another bottle. There. Hi, Susan. There's another suggestion. Don't be a twonk. Drink some plonk. Ah, I can't believe we've got totally distracted talking about vinegar all this time. Okay, now I am going. So what I'm going to talk about first today was a big story, wasn't it? That was, I mean, we were sort of, or I certainly was, transfixed really with the Gaynor Lord sort of story, you know, what had happened to her, and we were all worrying what had happened to her. But at the same time, there was a really big story going on that I haven't even had time to mention yet. And this was the story of Alex Batty just reappearing out of nowhere. You know, this boy had disappeared, hadn't he, while he was on holiday. Let's have a look at the Sky News. So Alex Batty, he was found by chiropractor Evina Sasak at 3 a.m. on a middle of nowhere road near Toulouse, France. Apparently, it's not the sort of place anyone would choose to walk in the middle of the night, but fate intervened to change Alex's life. Now, this boy disappeared, didn't he? He was on holiday, I think, with his grandparents, and his mother. He was on holiday in Spain originally, and disappeared. You know, was never taken.
Elle envisageait de partir avec lui en Finlande. Ce jeune a compris qu'il fallait que ce périple s'arrête et il a décidé de quitter l'endroit où il était avec sa mère pour marcher pendant 4 jours. Et lorsque sa mère a indiqué qu'elle envisageait de partir avec lui en Finlande, ce jeune a compris qu'il fallait que ce périple s'arrête et il a décidé de quitter l'endroit où il était avec.
So this boy his mother had taken him off on holiday to Spain, and then he'd never been seen again. And somehow he's ended up in some sort of, I mean, it's not clear yet exactly, from what I can gather, it's not clear exactly where he's been living, but he's now 18, and his mother had expressed an intention to take him to Finland for some reason, and he just left. You know, at the end of the day, he's an adult now and he's got the right to leave, and he obviously felt confident enough to leave. But I think he was in some sort of, they're talking about, it's like some sort of, gosh, what's the word? It's not really a cult type place, but somewhere similar, like a retreat type place.
Sa mère pour marcher pendant 4 jours et 4 nuits. En réalité, il marchait exclusivement la nuit et dormait le jour entre l'endroit où il était, a priori, dans les Pyrénées-Orientales, jusqu'à l'endroit. Lorsque sa mère.
Sorry. So it sounds like he's walked through the mountains, and he's saying that he slept in the day and walked at night. He obviously didn't want to be found, but where he thought he was coming. Thought he was going. So apparently he walked for 4 nights in the French Pyrenean mountains, sleeping during the day to get away from her. Oh dear me.
A indiqué qu'elle envisageait de partir avec lui en Finlande. Ce jeune a compris qu'il fallait que ce périple s'arrête et il a décidé de quitter l'endroit où il était avec sa mère pour marcher pendant 4 jours et 4 nuits. En réalité, il marchait exclusivement la nuit et dormait le jour entre l'endroit où il était, a priori, dans les Pyrénées-Orientales, jusqu'à l'endroit.
Wow, I mean, poor guy, poor boy. So I do like the way Alex Parsons writes when he writes his articles for the Sky News. The place where Alex Batty's life changed glistens as rain tumbles down, a stretch of road where traffic comes only occasionally during the day and hardly at all in the middle of the night unless fate intervenes. Alex was standing here a couple of nights ago at 3 a.m, braving the rain and clutching his skateboard, bless him. So he was using his skateboard to go a bit quicker sometimes, I suppose, when a van came by, passed him, and then returned. This time the driver, an amiable chiropractor named Evina Sasak, offered shelter, and that was the moment when Alex apparently lost to the world for 6 years. So for 6 years, the rest of his family has not known where he was. And this is the student who stopped and rescued him. Sorry. Sorry about that.
I saw a young guy on the side of the road with a skateboard under his arm, backpack, flashlight, and just a normal guy. So I look at it a bit.
Obviously, it doesn't look like that anymore because he's 18 now. But this was him when he went missing.
Confused, like what did he do? What he's doing in the middle of the night? It was raining at 3 a.m. Stopped by him and we spoke for 2 minutes. He came with me. We continue my work because I deliver medicine to the pharmacy at night. And all along during the drive, we talk about his situation. And he told me that he was kidnapped by his mother and grandfather when he was in Morocco 6 years ago. After he go to Spain where he lived for 3 years with his mother, and after he was in France for 2 years. So we talk about his life in France. He told me that he was in spiritual community.
How long?
So that was the words I was looking for, a spiritual community. And just saying about that guy speaking English, I do like the French accent. It is a nice accent.
Did he say he had been walking?
For 4 days. He told me for 4 days.
God,
and he
days.
wasn't hungry, or so he's
no,
been eating.
He got money, he got water. I give him water and food if he wants, but he wasn't hungry or anything. He was really fine physically, or he just wanted to live a normal life, to see his grandmother again, and to have a normal future. That's the word that he used. If you watch me, Alex, again, I wish you good luck for your future. I hope that you will be a great engineer. I think that he wanted to be an engineer when we talked about it.
Oh.
I hope that your grandmother will be happy. I hope. I'm sure of it. Or if you want to work with the delivery of the pharmacy again, you can call me.
Because he helped you.
Yeah,
he helped you
he
to
helped
deliver
me.
the medicine
Yes.
in the middle of the night.
Yes.
That's extraordinary.
Oh. So it's lovely, isn't it? You know, he's helped him. He's offered him a job now. He's got a job in France. So standing here now, you get an idea of how remote it must have felt. During the day, you can make out the village of Lagarde in the distance, but look in most directions, and all you see are fields and trees. The forests around here are thick and imposing. Alex was standing at a point where the road narrows slightly with metal barriers on either side. There is some brickwork here, a place to sit down. You would barely know it as a driver, but this is actually a bridge over a small river. And this is where Alex Batty had come to a halt on the night he was found, where his 4-day trek towards safety came to an end. Goodness me. Goodness me. During the day, you can make out the village of Lagarde. Oh, sorry, I've just read that. Going down. In the daylight, a bird circles over the field opposite us, peering for a catch. There is a sign for a campsite, and in the woodland by the side of the road, some twisted metal bars. A large 4x4 car comes past us, hauling a trailer full of wood. An old Renault 5 drives by with a couple in the front and a huge dog in the back. They look at our camera, frown, and drive on. It's not the sort of place I would choose to walk alone at night. But the truth is, this is an unexceptional place that witnessed an exceptional occurrence. It's not just that Alex was found, but he was helped by someone as warm as Fabian, a 26-year-old who delivers medicine overnight to supplement his income. And it's true, you know, it was lucky because you know, an 18-year-old boy, he could have been picked up by anybody, somebody like John Wayne Gacy or one of these, you know, he was lucky to be picked up by somebody safe. So Fabian, originally from Marseille, he came to Toulouse simply because it was, he thought, the best place to train as a chiropractor. When we met, he was still in shock at what he'd achieved. At first, Alex, perhaps wary of being pursued, where's that gone? It's flicked up, by the group he had left behind, had said his name was Zach, so he gave a wrong name to begin with because he didn't want to be identified. He must have been terrified of them finding him, you know. Only after 10 minutes of driving, when Fabian had showed him the cargo of medicines and asked him to help with the deliveries, did Alex tell the truth. He said to me that he'd been kidnapped by his mother, that he had been in Morocco, then Spain, then here in France, and that he had decided to leave. I was shocked. An understatement, you suspect. The unlikely pair drove around for 2 hours, completing Fabian's delivery round before calling the police and then ending up at the police station in Revel, a bustling market town. There, the police tried to call the British Embassy but got no reply. Oh, I tell you, the British Embassy, if you're abroad and you try and contact the British Embassy, I know this from experience here in Spain, and the consulate, etc., they are absolutely no help whatsoever. And I mean, maybe that, I'm not saying it's just the British Embassy, maybe all embassies and consulates. They're just there. When you ask for help, they actually don't help you with anything. Fabian, who speaks English, translated on behalf of Alex, whose French is rudimentary, and then Alex fell asleep on the floor of the police station. I bet he was exhausted. I bet he was completely exhausted. Anyway, Fabian tells me that Alex's ambition was to get home to see his grandmother. Then a thought comes into his head. Is she alive? He asks, and is delighted when I tell him that yes, Alex's grandmother is still alive, waiting for him. I asked Fabian about the location where he found Alex, the middle of nowhere, he says. And then when I wake up this morning, there is a message from him. A photo of the road taken by him as he went on another and less eventful round of nighttime deliveries and a map reference. And so it is that we stand here now in the very place where Alex Batty's young life took such an abrupt change. The rain is starting to lighten. Ordinary place, extraordinary story. He does tell a good story, Adam Parsons. He makes it very colourful, very relatable. Now, I think he's coming home. So he's expected to return to the UK in the next few days. Let me just go to that. So yeah, within the next. Oh, this was the press conference. Let's have a look at what they had to say. What the police. Oh, he's from Manchester, so it's the Greater Manchester Police. Oldham. There's a lot of you out there that know Oldham. Yeah, they're bound to do some DNA testing and things just to make sure But wow. Oh, I didn't realise that he was from Oldham. Okay, so that's good news, isn't it? It's good to have some good news because did I actually share that? Just let me make sure. I'll come back to you. You'll tell me. No, did I miss that video? Hang on, let me go back to that again then. I think I forgot to swap it over. Always forget something. Right, let's watch this again, and I will make sure we watch it this time. Right, you should be able to see it now. Sorry about that.
I think I speak on behalf of the whole Greater Manchester Police when I say we are relieved and overjoyed to receive the news from the French authorities that they believe Alex Batty has been found safe and well. It's been 6 years since his disappearance. This is a huge moment for Alex, for his family, and for the community in Oldham. Alex went missing whilst on holiday in 2017 when he was just 11 years old. On Wednesday, a member of public reported a potential sighting in the Toulouse area of France. The young man identified as Alex and was taken to a French police station. The young man and Alex's grandmother spoke on a video call last night, and whilst she is content that this is indeed Alex, we obviously have further checks to do when he returns to the United Kingdom. Our main priority now is
Yeah, so that's what I was saying earlier. It will, I presume, have to undertake a DNA test.
to see Alex returned home to his family in the UK, and our investigation team are working around the clock with partner agencies and the French authorities to ensure they are all fully supported. He's getting well cared for by the French authorities at the moment. They're in Toulouse. We're in close liaison with them and the Foreign and Commonwealth Office. And our priority is to get him back to the UK and get him back to his family in Oldham as soon as possible.
But do you know what that looks like in terms of timeline?
I expect it to happen over the next few days.
So there you go. So within the next few days, Alex will be reunited with his grandma. Hi, Marcia. Oh, sorry, the wrong one. Oh my, Marcia, welcome to the family. We'll welcome you properly in the members live on Thursday, but thank you for joining. Thank you, Marcia. So yes, some good news. Now, Oldham, Jan, is not Lancashire Police. It's Greater Manchester Police. So I suppose it is part of Manchester. Hi, Paulie, Amy. Anyway, hi, Paulie. Paulie Am from Birmingham, UK. Yes, sorry, I did. You anyway. I don't know if I've missed anyone coming in. I can't go right back up all that chat, but hi, Paulie, Amy. But it is lovely, isn't it, Tina, to hear some good news, some good news. There's so much bad news, so much bad news. So it's nice to have a happy ending. And I imagine his grandma must be absolutely thrilled, because the thing is, I mean, I don't know where Alex's father is. I don't know about the situation with the father. It sounds like it was just the mother that took him off. I don't know. Again, I don't know completely, so I have to research that a bit more. But, you know, people sometimes forget about grandparents' rights, because it must be awful if you do fall out, you know, with your children, with your adult children. and then you don't get to see your grandchildren. And, you know, I have a friend who's going through that at the moment. You know, it's very difficult for, you know, without going into the details. But basically, one of their children is withholding the grandchild from them, you know, sort of almost using. And this is something that happens quite a lot as well, that people forget, because people talk about parental rights, and obviously you've got the mother's rights, and then you've got the father's rights, and then, you know, we'd criticize a father that took a child away from a mother, or a mother that takes, you know, it's so difficult, all this family relationships like that, when people split up. It's very difficult, isn't it? And then the children are sometimes used as pawns, aren't they? You know, with the battles between the parents. And then you've got the grandparents as well. You know, they're just worried, are they going to see their children? We've talked about this as far as the Nicola Bulley case is concerned. You know, is there if, you know, rumours flying around, and they are only rumours, that if Paul's selling the house, is he going to go off to America? I don't think there's any evidence for that, to be honest. I think that's just rumours that people are talking about. But if that was the case, then, you know, where does that leave the grandparents? You know, it's awful. It is, you know, the family relationships are very complicated, aren't they? Very, very complicated. I'm good, thank you, Paulie. Sorry, Jan, you thought I was going to link Lancashire Police into other issues? I don't believe I said that. As far as I'm concerned, you know, the Lancashire Police, they made a total cock-up in Nicola's case. They admitted it in the College of Policing review. They were asked to help with the Gaynor Lord case, weren't they? But I don't think I ever said that. You might be getting me mixed up with somebody else. But I am going to talk a little bit about the Lancashire Police tonight, because I was looking at the Ewelina Sasak case. So for those of you who may not know, a young girl who worked at the vets in Nicola's Willow's vets, at Nicola's vets. There was I don't know, most of you probably know if you've seen the video that I did on this case, but a young girl from there had some sort of psychotic episode, apparently. She told everybody that there was a gang of people after her, following her, and for some reason she went off to London, you know, even though she was working in that area at the Moyes Vets, which was Nicola's vets. She got so sort of upset that this gang of people supposedly were following her. She was trying to make her way home to her native Poland, and ended up in London and in a hotel. And then apparently, according to the results of the inquest, she actually stabbed herself to death. It's a very strange sort of aside to the whole Nicola Bulley case. Anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to look at the video. Now, the reason why I wanted to look at this again is because when I was doing the video on Peter Lawson, you know, Peter, who unfortunately passed away, didn't he, at home, who was one of the assistant chief constables on the Nicola Bulley case. When I was looking over his press conference that he did with Rebecca White, it's funny how everything sort of interlinks, doesn't it, in this case? I noticed, and I'm going to show you what Rebecca said, and it resonated with me, because I thought, oh, no, let me just find it now. Where is it? Yeah. It resonated with me, something she said in this press conference, which I hadn't really noticed before. So let's have a look.
Can't assist her, and following a number of inquiries, eventually people return to the bench, recover.
Hang on, I might have to go back a little bit.
But again, I'd just like to point her out that it's really normal for Nicola, when in a Teams call, to be holding her phone out in front of her, listening to it. And we can say from a witness that knows her that morning, that is what she was doing. So that would explain why she doesn't have her phone in her pocket, as I know a number of people have raised. We then know at about 9:33, a local dog walker who is walking a dog comes across the bench and finds Willow untied, running between the bench and the gate. The mobile phone is on the bench, face upwards, still logged into the Teams call, and Willow's harness is halfway between the bench and the riverside. That witness makes a number, before returning home, she then returns and makes a number of phone calls to people, because at that point she doesn't know who the dog belongs to or who the phone belongs to, and doesn't know how to get in touch with people. She makes a number of inquiries with a local vet.
Yeah, she makes a number of inquiries with a local vet. So I've not really noticed that when I very first watched that, and it's only because I was watching it again when we were talking about the unfortunate demise of Peter Lawson, that I noticed that she said this: a number of inquiries with the local vet. Now I'm presuming she's talking about Penny here,
who is walking a dog, comes across the bench and finds Willow untied, running between the bench and the gate. The mobile phone is on the bench, face upwards, still logged into the Teams call, and Willow's harness is halfway between the bench and the riverside. That witness makes a number, before returning home, she then returns and makes a number of phone calls to people.
So first of all, she said before returning home. Then she said, oh, she returns home. I mean, look at Rebecca's face there. Now, as we know now from the College of Policing report, we know now that she didn't want to be there. You can just tell by her face. She doesn't want to be there. She didn't have the full information. She actually said, you know, I don't want to do this press conference. It should have been Pauline Stables who did this press conference, but she apparently was ill. I think she probably thought, I'm not doing that press conference, let somebody else do it. And you can see Rebecca, that I really do understand now how she felt so uncomfortable during the whole thing, because she didn't know the whole circumstances. So she's just said there, first of all, she said she returns home. Then she went, oh, no, then she makes it, you know, she doesn't know, basically. She doesn't know, either doesn't know the full facts or she's confused with the full facts.
A local dog walker who is walking a dog comes across the bench and finds Willow untied, running between the bench and the gate. The mobile phone is on the bench, face upwards, still logged into the Teams call, and Willow's harness is halfway between the bench and the riverside. That witness makes a number, before returning home, she then returns and makes a number of phone calls to people, because at that point she doesn't know.
So is it before she returns home or is it when she returns home? It's not clear, is it?
Who the dog belongs to or who the phone belongs to, and doesn't know how to get in touch with people. She makes a number of inquiries with a local vet.
So she's saying she doesn't know. She's talking about Penny here, I presume, but then was it Anne-Marie? Because it all seemed to change. She looks like she's not even quite sure who she's talking about, but makes a number of inquiries with a local vet. So was the phone number on the, how did she know which vet to phone? So was the phone number on the disc, on the collar? I don't think that was ever this has never really been explained properly, has it? But at the end of the day, she says, we'll listen to it one more time.
Is on the bench, face upwards, still logged into the Teams call, and Willow's harness is halfway between the bench and the riverside. That witness makes a number, before returning home, she then returns and makes a number of phone calls to people, because at that point she doesn't know who the dog belongs to or who the phone belongs to, and doesn't know how to get in touch with people. She makes a number of inquiries with a local vet who can't assist her, and following a number of inquiries, eventually people return to the bench, recover the handset and Willow.
Yeah. So basically, it's very confused. She's very confused there with what she says. But what struck me as I was listening to it was the mention of the vet. She made a number of inquiries at a local vet, a number of inquiries. So what does that mean? That she phoned all different vets to try and find out what it was, who it was? What does that mean? A number of different inquiries. And did she go home and make those inquiries, which Rebecca didn't seem very sure whether she made them from there or she went home and made them, then she went home, then she, so it is a right mess, all that, isn't it? So very odd, very odd. She should, I think it was admitted in the College of Police review that Rebecca should not have taken that press conference because she didn't know all the full details. Now, another thing that, as I was looking at that then, you always find things, don't you? You always find things. The more you look into things, the more things that you find. So let me just show you this that I found. Now, maybe some of you have seen this. I don't know, because again, it's like going back in time. We can't remember everything. We've had that much information over this case. We can't possibly remember everything. And this is an article I don't remember. So it just came up as I was searching, that's all. So this is the Mail online, and this is from, where's the date? So this is the 20th of February. So it's the day after Nicola was found. Lead Nicola Bulley detective is absent from the press conference amid fury at farcical Lancashire police for liking a tweet showing her as a Lego figure during the search for the mother of two. Now, I sort of vaguely remember this Lego figure. Do you remember it? Do any of you out there remember it? She's apparently, there's fury. I don't really remember fury at the farcical Lancashire police for liking a tweet showing her as a Lego figure during a search for mother of two. Now, I sort of vaguely remember the Lego figure, and if there was I probably wasn't really participating much in Twitter at the time. And the Lancashire police, I presume they mean the Lancashire police Twitter account, liked this tweet of a Lego figure. But maybe that's just a sense of humor, I don't know. But I think what the police have to remember, they almost aren't allowed to have a sense of humor, really, because they are the police. So we expect them to be professional. And I think maybe they've sort of, in this sort of social media world that we live in, we've seen it with Andrew Snowman, haven't we? I mean, he's the bloody commissioner for police, and he's not serious on his posts and things. He's just, tweeting what he's had for dinner and what wine he's drinking and stuff like that. Probably, I bet he's got 10% strength vinegar in his house. But the thing is, you know, we can joke about it. We're not the commissioner for police. We're not on I'm not on £100,000 a year for being the crime commissioner for the police. So I can put stupid things on my social media because, you know, I can. I'm not in that position. I'm not in a position of gravitas like he is. So I presume this is what's happened. Some tweets gone round. Lancashire Police have liked it. It'd be somebody, whoever controls the Lancashire Police social media, has thought, oh, that's funny, you know, and just liked it, not realizing that they're the police and they're not really supposed to do things like that. What you do in your personal life is not what you do in your private, in your professional life. So anyway, it said the detective leading the search for missing Nicola Bulley was today absent from the press conference where Under Fire Lancashire Police confirmed that the body pulled from the river yesterday was the mother of two. So don't forget, this is the Daily Mail, who every chance they get slate armchair detectives, TikTok sleuths, and they're the ones that spread these things. You know, they spread these things, but it seems to be, they seem to think it's okay for them to do it. Anyway, Detective Superintendent Rebecca Smith criticised social media for distracting the investigation as the force came under fire after it took them 24 days to find remains in the reeds of the wire. Well, there weren't, oh gosh. I mean, you know, how dare they criticise social media, the things they say. But anyway, less than a mile from where mortgage advisor Miss Bulley was last seen, she did not appear at tonight's press conference where officers confirmed the body was Miss Bulley. Now, bearing in mind, what we know now is she was never even supposed to be at the last press conference. It was supposed to be Pauline Stables, and it was Pauline Stables who appeared at this press conference, giving the statement from the family. Now, you know, we know now. I honestly, I've found so much sympathy for Rebecca because I think she was just pushed under a bus, really, because she was retiring soon anyway, and it was just like, oh, just put her out there. I think the Chief Constable, Mr. Rowley, who has hardly even been seen on this case or took any stick whatsoever. Everybody else has taken stick. You know, and he's just like risen above all of it and, escaped. You know, he's got like about 5 or 6 people assisting him and he's just pushing all the blame on them all the time. So this is, looking back on this now, this article is terrible. It's just not true. So it comes after Lancashire Police sparked, according to this article, sparked fury today after it replied to a tweet showing the senior officer depicted as a Lego figure with a heart emoji during the search for Miss Bulley. Force staff admired the toy lookalike of Detective Superintendent Smith, saying, "We will make sure she sees this," alongside a heart emoji. They were probably just having a joke and a laugh. You know, I don't know, but of course they can't do that because they are the police. They're not like, it's not like you're sort of tweeting your mates or having a bit of a joke, and you know that you're the police. You're supposed to be. You're dealing with a missing case, a missing person case that ended up with somebody actually dying, being found deceased. So you're supposed to be serious about it, not make jokes about it. So sharing a picture of the figurine on Twitter on February the 16th as the hunt for the missing mother continued, its creator wrote, "I don't know Detective Superintendent Rebecca Smith of Lancashire Police, but I do know she's doing everything in her power to find Nicola Bulley. DS Smith makes a pretty formidable Lego minifigure too, if I do say so myself. Please give it a retweet so she sees it." And someone from Lancashire Police did exactly that and said, "We'll make sure she sees it." Now, I'd forgotten about that. Well, I don't think I knew about it really. I knew about the Lego tweet. And here was the statement. Poor Mr. Lawson, who no longer is with us. He actually does look quite ill there, to be honest. And Pauline giving the statement from the family. And poor Rebecca, I honestly do. I think Rebecca's been just hung out to dry. Oh, here's the actual tweet from Brick Cop with this. Does anybody remember this Lego figure? Sort of got this vague memory of it, but not really. Do any of you remember it? And Lancashire Police replied, "We'll make sure she sees this." And it had 180 likes. Dear me. You know, they just treat, the thing is, it wasn't a joke. It wasn't a joke. You know, this was about Nicola, about a woman who'd gone missing, and they're making jokes about it. Anyway, the brief exchange sparked outrage from people following the force. In a reply sure to raise further questions over police judgment, staff responded with a blue heart emoji and said, "We'll make sure she sees this." There was no response to Mail Online this afternoon on if and when Detective Superintendent Smith was shown the Lego figure. One asks, why don't you focus on conducting yourself with dignity and integrity instead of engaging with tweets and liking pro-Lancashire Police tweets? You're turning this case into a farce. Now you're engaging with irrelevant tit-for-tat online publicly. It's disgusting. Another said, utterly inappropriate response, just mind-numbingly irrelevant. So the figure was made by popular Twitter account Britcop, who is an anonymous real-life officer who makes the toys in their spare time. Now, I wonder who he is. I wonder who he is. Could this be this Higgs person who has disappeared? Just makes you wonder, doesn't it? Maybe that's why he's disappeared. Anyway, Lancashire Police has come under criticism for the way it has handled the disappearance. So, yeah, we won't watch the full video, but do you remember that? Do people remember that? Lego? Oh, sorry, I need to come back to chat to see. So, hi, Selena. Selena, you remember seeing the figure? I don't remember it, to be honest. But that's just part of everything, isn't it? That's part of the whole sort of what's the word? The whole fiasco of how the Lancashire Police dealt with it, and they just did nothing right. So I do think, though, it's been good as far as the Gaynor Lords case, just that we've seen came to an unfortunate conclusion today when Gaynor was, well, we think it's Gaynor, it hasn't been confirmed officially, but I think they're pretty certain there is Gaynor. And they asked the Lancashire Police for advice, not on what to do, but on what not to do, I think. And they seem to, lessons have been learned. This is a common thing that these police reports, and not only police reports, but any reports always come up with, lessons have been learned and things to think of for the future. And I do think that certainly, has been seen in the Gaynor Lord investigation, closing down the park, etc., being transparent with the media where possible, involving the public, not slagging off the public. And, the thing is, you can't ask the public for help on one hand and then moan because you're getting too much help. You've got to deal with it. You've got to deal with it. And if you don't, you can't just say, oh, well, we want this help, but we don't want that help. You've just got to deal with it, whatever happens. But yeah, I do think lessons have been learned. Yeah. I think, yeah, I mean, there's, that's right, a Lego figure of Mr. Snowdon. But, you know, not when there's a big case going on, you know, when there's a missing woman who supposedly has fallen into the river, you know, 2 children that have, their mum's not coming home, hasn't come home for 2 weeks. That's not the time, is it, to make a Lego figure of someone? You make a Lego figure of Snowdon, you know, when he's, you know, creating his cooking, all these all over bloody social media with his meals and his wine. That's different, but not in a time when, you know, talking about a missing mum. So yeah, Selena, the case of Emma Patterson. I did cover it. At the time, because I was just, you know, I just thought it was awful. But unfortunately, it did get overtaken a lot by the Nicola Bulley case. But I am going to look at that again in the new year, because, I mean, you know, it's one of those cases. It's sort of solved, really. People know what happened, but we don't know much about the lead up to it and how it happened. But anyway, I will be looking at that again in the new year. But I do have a video on that available. If on my my YouTube, if you put in Emma Patterson, that video will come up. Okay, so it was that, you know, it's funny how you get carried off in a tangent, just as like when you're having conversations with people and you go off on a tangent. So I found that about the Lego figure while I was looking for the thing about what you'd said about the vet. So what we're going to look at now, just to remind us, because I did do a video about Ewelina, and I'm going to show you the video because that's the easiest way, really, to reacquaint people with the story. It's a very, you know, even if it was nothing to do with Nicola, if she had no connection to Nicola whatsoever, it's a very strange story that, in my opinion, this case needs re-examining, whether it was anything to do with Nicola Bulley or not, because it just seems very, very strange that a vet, you know, well, you'll see what happens. And then you think, this is a vet. This is a woman who knew about sedatives, you know, who, if she wanted to delete herself, could have done it very easily and much less painfully than supposedly she did, by using some of the drugs that she will have had access to. So let's have a look at this. Let me just share it. This is my video. At least I know I'm not going to do myself for copyright. I'll just fast forward it a bit. Chased by a gang in the end, and was trying to get back to who was staying many miles away from where she lived. Oh, right to the beginning. Hey, so it's me, Vicky Marie. Thank you so much for being here with me to talk about what I'm going to talk about now. This has sort of blown my mind a little bit. So what if I was to tell you about a young girl who was found, gosh, I'm just thinking what I can say on YouTube, who was found in a hotel where she was staying many miles away from where she lived, with many, many STAB wounds on her body, and who later died in hospital of blood loss, I presume. Now, if I was to tell you about this girl who had been saying that somebody was pursuing her, a gang was pursuing her, she was so paranoid, so scared, she'd left her home behind, and was trying to get back to her well, she'd gone from Lancashire to London, and presumably or supposedly was thinking of trying to find her way back to Poland, which is where she originally comes from, because a gang were following her. She was being chased by a gang. In the end, she didn't want to get on the aeroplane because she thought somebody would poison her on the aeroplane. And then she was later found in this hotel room with many, many wounds to her body. Now, if I was to tell you about that, and then I was to tell you that this, at the inquest, it was found to be the big S. It was found to be self-deletion. And if I was to tell you that, and then I was to tell you that this girl used to work at the vets where Nicola Bulley used to take her. Let's chat. Now, there are many things that have sort of blown my mind about this. First of all, let's just have a look at the story itself. The reason it's come out sort of today, if you like, is because of the result of the inquest. The result of the inquest has just come out. This poor young girl, Ewelina Sasak, who was Polish, she was 30 years old. Now, apparently, she was convinced she was being followed. And finally, she was found DEAD. Though I don't think she was DEAD. I think she was unconscious, but she later died in a hotel room bath. And doctors suspected at first that tragic 30-year-old Ewelina Sasak may have been attacked, but they ultimately found no signs of third. Can I just say, I keep calling her Ewelina, but it's Evelina. The W is pronounced as a V. Party involvement or self-defense. Now, it's true where normally if somebody's been attacked and they hold up their arms, don't they? And they, now it's true, you know, they have wounds, self-defense wounds on their body. But she was a vet in her dream job. And she was found with horrific injuries in a bath at a 4-star hotel in London. So initially, the violence was so much that it was initially thought that it must be an MURDER. So her parents had flown over from their home in Poland to attend the inquest. The inquest was held in St. Pancras Coroner's Court on Monday, October the 23rd. They said their daughter. Now, something else I just want to point out there, which I don't know if you noticed or not, but the inquest for this girl, why was she in London, first of all? Why did she go to London? I just don't understand. And the inquest for this girl was held in St. Pancras Coroner's Court. And if any of you know, just another connection, and I'm not saying that there's anything behind it or anything, it's just all these strange connections in this case. But Ed White, Emma's husband, works in the St. Pancras Hotel. And Evelina her inquest was held in St. Pancras Coroner's Court. So she must have been found roundabout nearby there. Just mentioning it, not saying anything, not implicating anything. I'm just saying it's one of those many coincidences in this case. She was happy. Recently had a pay rise in her dream job, and she was buying furniture for a flat in Blackpool. She had moved to the UK in 2021 after qualifying as a vet in Poland. Using a friend as a translator, her dad, Henrik Sasak, said she was working as a vet. She had a pay rise. She had something to live for. She had lots of friends in Poland. She was very healthy. Now, it seems to me that this poor family, maybe they couldn't afford a solicitor to instruct the coroner what decision they were supposed to take. So the young woman who worked at Moy Vets in Hambleton, Lancashire, was very close with her friends in Poland and had a strong relationship with her family. However, in the days leading up to her death, the young girl became convinced that a group of 10 people were following her and intent on harming her. The fear became so intense that she fled from Blackpool to London, even planning to fly last minute to Poland before becoming too terrified she would be injected with poison mid-flight. Now, it's clear this could be a very sad case of, mental psychosis, deterioration. It just seems very odd to me. Anyway, at 10 p.m. that night, Miss Sasak checked into the Staunton Hotel. She made the reservation under one name only and paid the night porter up front in cash for a night in a ground floor room beside reception. The next morning, the chambermaid could not enter the door and called to the receptionist the inquest heard. She couldn't get in either, but managed to get a distressed Miss Sasak to speak to her through the locked door. And this is the vets where she worked in Hambleton. Now, geography not being my strong point, I think there are 2 of these Moyes vets in that Lancashire area. I don't know which one was the one that Nicola took Willow to, but wasn't it Moyes vets that was supposedly on the dog tag? Miss Sasak asked to stay another night. The receptionist returned to the desk and telephoned Miss Sasak to say they were fully booked, but she could stay an extra half an hour before checking out. The hotel owner arrived at 12:10 and struggled to break into the locked door to find her lying in the bath, conscious but covered with deep cuts. He called the emergency services and police discovered Miss Sasak still conscious with 2 sharp objects beside her and blood across the hotel room. She hadn't slept in her bed and train tickets were strewn across it from Preston to Manchester Airport, Preston to Liverpool, and a London All Zones travel card, all valid for the previous day. A bag filled with paperwork. £175 in notes and £12 in coins were also recovered. Paramedics arrived, gave her CPR in the bathroom before carrying her to the reception. However, their attempts to resuscitate her were unsuccessful and she was pronounced dead at 1:07 p.m. So Assistant Coroner Ian Potter ruled that Miss Sasak died by suicide. Mr. Potter said, "We can never know whether her belief was grounded in reality, but it was clear that she was overcome by fear and distress when she checked into the Staunton Hotel." Summarising his verdict, he said, "I'm told by Ewelina Sasak's mother, Iona, that she was a very nice girl with lots of friends. It's also clear to me that she had a good and close relationship with her family. Mrs. Sasak, meaning Iona, has given evidence about text messages and numerous conversations she had with Ewelina between the 12th and 25th of April 2023. These exchanges paint a picture of a fast emerging situation which rapidly escalated, it's so sad this, to what can only be described as a state of apparent despair, which saw a situation where Ewelina believed she was being followed on the 24th of April 2023 by a group of up to 10 people. I have no doubt that Ewelina did believe she was being followed. What is less clear is the source of that belief, whether it was entirely based in reality or whether it was delusional, either in whole or in part. In the absence of expert medical opinion regarding Ewelina's mental health, which is not possible to obtain after the fact, so presumably there were no doctor's records, if they even look that far. Presumably there were no doctor's records of depression or anything like that. We will never know the exact facts of that situation and her belief. However, what is clear to me is that at the time she checked into the Staunton Hotel, Ewelina was in a state of some fear and distress. I have also borne in mind the nature and extent of Ewelina's injuries, which were quite frankly extreme. I found that nobody inflicts injuries of that severity on themselves as a cry for help or expecting to live, particularly not someone of Ewelina's educational standard. I mean, is it just me? But what is going on? Bearing in mind that as a vet, she was more than familiar with the basics of biology and anatomy. In light of these factors, I reject the notion of accident. Yes, it probably. I think you can safely say it was not an accident, and find that on the balance of probabilities, that's that balance of probabilities again, Ewelina inflicted these injuries on herself, and that she did so with the intention of taking her own life. Turning to Miss Sasak's parents, he added, all that remains, Ilona and Henrik, is for me to give you my sincere condolences for the loss of your daughter. I can't begin to imagine the pain and suffering that it has caused for you, and I wish you a safe journey home. Is that it then? Is that it? Is that her life? Just like, so they're not going to investigate what was going on in Lancashire where she was living? Why was she feeling like that? Why was she, you know, I'm sort of speechless. It's heartbreaking, isn't it? Right, let me see if I can find the now, there's something from the actual Moy Vets. Okay, so I'm going to share this. Hang on. So this was the post on Facebook by the vets, Moy Vets, Cleveley's Vets for Pets, or, oh no, this is from Cleveley's Vets for Pets, passing on their thoughts and condolences to the team at Moy's during this tragic time. Please remember to be kind, say thanks, and smile at your vet today. I think it's just weird, I think. Anyway, so Moy Vets say this was the 12th of May. So this happened in May, just before Nicola's inquest. You know, you could be, I mean, the things I just don't get all these coincidences. But anyway, what can I say? It was great, with great sadness and a heavy heart, that we announced the passing of our friend and colleague, Ewelina Sasak. Ewelina graduated from the Warsaw University of Life Science in Poland in February 2021. Joined our Moy Vets team in October 2022. She will be missed by us all, and we thank you for your kindness and your consideration while the team comes to terms with this sad loss. So what happened to Ewelina? So Ewelina, did she have absolute, so when she went to join the Moy Vets team in October 2022, she came all the way from Poland, but without any mental health issues, or, you know, I don't know, maybe her parents might say that she's always had issues. Maybe she did have issues, but it seems like an extreme thing, doesn't it, to be so convinced that you're being chased by a gang of 10 people. Why did she think that? You know, did she have no friends that she spoke to about it? I mean, obviously she'd been sending messages to her parents. I don't know obviously what those messages exactly were. I mean, it could well have been a mental sort of episode, but, you know, just think how many more things in this case are going to be coincidences. And the way she did it, I mean, you know, people do obviously self-delete themselves with paranoia, but why did she not just, you know, sorry to be blunt, but, you know, cut her wrists or an artery if she knew so much about? Why was she stabbing herself? So in the end, the police actually thought she had been a victim of a violent crime. Or was she a victim of a violent crime? Now, yeah, I just want to say there, because a couple of people are mentioning it, I looked up the stats. I don't know if I mentioned them in this video. And it's practically unheard of for someone to kill themselves in that way. And if they do, on the very, very rare occasions that that happens, they normally stab themselves in the neck, or, you know, somewhere where there's an artery, or obviously maybe cut their wrists or whatever. So unusual. These were very, she had lots and lots of stab wounds, and she is a vet. And I mean, I know she might have been in a mental state that she just wasn't thinking straight, and I accept that. But at the end of the day, this woman knew about biology. So even if she didn't take her own, you know, take some sort of, she decided not to do it with a sedative. To me, if I was a vet and I knew about sedatives, she knows how to put an animal down. She knows how to, you know, the right amount of sedative to use to put an animal to sleep. She would know exactly what to use for herself as well if she wanted to dispose of herself. And the thing is, if she didn't and she decided to do it in that way, surely she knows about biology. She knows that you would have to go for an artery, you know, for it to be successful, not because she was still alive when they found her, and the police's initial instinct was that she had been subject to a violent attack, and there were 2 sharp instruments in the room with her. Now, obviously, you know, I don't know about I don't know what investigations were made, whether there was any CCTV. We don't know anything really about all we know is that at the inquest, that's what the coroner decided. But I really do think sometimes they just decide that. It's almost like they don't want to investigate things. But, you know, if she was in a hotel, surely there must have been CCTV. Then there's another part of me that thinks, well, they didn't see anybody entering the room, so maybe it's true, you know, but it stinks. It feels wrong. It feels wrong. And there's just something. Why did she go to St. Pancras? Why did she go to that hotel? I don't think it's even near Heathrow, because, you know, people saying that she was going to Heathrow. I don't think it's, you know, it's not an airport hotel. Now, I don't know. I just wanted, you know, I heard this today. I saw it on a site, and I just had to make a video about this because it just seems so incongruous. Let me see if right, let me just close down some windows because I've got some windows open here I don't need for this particular video. If I get them all down and I can see, have I actually... Yeah, now I tried to find how the result was recorded because the coroner, St. Pancras' coroner's court, I couldn't find the results. You know, the results are easy to find on the Lancashire website for the coroner. You know, it tells you the date of the inquest and then it gives you the result. For this one, I couldn't actually find the results, but I haven't found them yet anyway, but whether I'm reading it wrong, but they don't seem to be very easy to find. So I haven't been able to find where it's actually recorded online. And the assistant coroner, I can show you the assistant coroner who dealt with this, is Ian Potter. Here he is, the assistant coroner. For some reason, you think, you know, no offense, but in a case like this, you know, anyway, that's the only information about him. He was appointed on the 2nd of June 2023. He's the assistant coroner for London Inner North. Yeah. Let's have a look at the Wales Online. I don't think it'd be anything different. These are more or less all, these sort of news items are normally more or less the same, aren't they? So they do say when she was discovered, they come up with so many adverts, it drives me absolutely bonkers. Well, let me turn the things off. Anyway, they discovered pale Miss Sasak lying in the bath. Where is it? It's jumped again. Yeah, lying in the bath with extreme wounds. A doctor said that Miss Sasak's wounds were so severe they appeared to have been inflicted by violent activity, but police and the pathologist independently declared there were no suspicious circumstances. No signs of third-party involvement or self-defense. Dear me. So felt like she had a whole life to live for, but you know what? Instead, she chose to go off to a hotel in London. Let me just show you where the actual, find when where the case was actually heard. These are the cases that were heard. There she is, Monday the 23rd of October at 10 a.m. Ewelina Sasak, 30 years old. That must be the postcode of where she was found. But where's the results? Where's the conclusions? I could not find the conclusions. You know, to see whether they give her a narrative verdict or just, you know, as Nicola's was. Yeah, I can't find the conclusions of the inquest. So, anyway, it might be something I'm missing there. What else? What else? What else? Yeah, so she couldn't be saved. She was declared dead shortly afterwards. No, but nobody is saying that there was any record of mental illness. You know, for example, before she came to the UK, surely she had a doctor in Poland at some time. You know, she can't have just never had a doctor. Bless her. Let me just show this. There's a lovely picture of her. Yeah. Yeah. So it seems like the police in the beginning, the doctor in the beginning, thought she had been attacked, but then later on, the coroner decided that no, she hadn't been attacked. 2 sharp objects beside her and blood across the hotel room. Yeah, and then he goes on to say this about in the absence of expert medical opinion regarding her mental health. Surely there should be records in Poland. She can't have just suddenly. Surely she can't just suddenly have had this violent, normally takes a little while for mental health to deteriorate, surely not just instantly like that. But what's that anyway? But that's it, it's done and dusted. The inquest's been heard. The coroner's just saying to the parents, safe journey back to Poland. I mean, I don't know, obviously, all the details of what came out at that inquest. The parents must be satisfied. It's just, I just can't get my head around it. Let me just put that window down. I just want to show you something else. So this is the vets, Mój Vets Veterinary Centre. I believe they have got, let's see, they've got Hambleton and Thornton. She worked in the Hambleton office, I believe. She's not on the the staff thing anymore. Mind you, these are the surgeons, so I literally am a little bit like strange, isn't it? That this was actually, and just something completely unrelated. Well, it's not completely unrelated, but you know how when you're looking for one thing, you often find out other things. And I came up against this news article again from a while ago, from nearer the time when Nicola went missing, and this is the Express, who was saying Nicola Bulley's dog at centre of fresh mystery. So this was on the 3rd of February in the Daily Express. Nicola Bulley's dog at centre of fresh mystery over why pet was found without a harness. Nicola went missing last Friday while walking her dog in St. Michael's on Wire, and the pet was later found without its harness, despite the mother regularly posting pictures showing the Cocker Spaniel wearing it on their walks. Now we're supposed to believe that she never took it off. Is this that Tillian? Let's have a look, actually. Just we were talking about Tillian, who I couldn't remember seeing her being. Who is this? Let's have a look.
One of the situations throughout life.
Yeah, people get confused as to whether I'm live or not. I am live, but I was showing this video because this was the video that I made about Ewelina the vet. And yeah, you know that it's just the more you go into all the little bits and pockets of this case, and then as I was researching for that video, I came up again, found this video of this woman that I couldn't ever remember seeing talking before, because she spoke a few times at the beginning and then disappeared.
You don't want to have to live through. And we are so grateful to the SGI team and obviously the police.
Who is this woman?
I mean, there are no words really. It's one of the situations throughout life you don't want to have to live through. And we are so grateful to the SGI team and obviously the police who are working closely with them and the community, and just working tirelessly really to try and find out what's happened to Nikki. Yeah, it's an emotional roller coaster for sure. We need to keep, more than ever, as a family and as friends, we're keeping hope. We're trying our best to stay positive. We want to bring Nikki home. Her 2 little girls need her.
As a family, and as who is this woman? Is this Killian?
They're desperate for her back, to cuddle them in at night. And obviously, just we just need some answers. We need factual facts. We need evidence. Anyone that's out there that feels they may have dashcam footage, there's a section of road that we're missing, Garstang Road towards St Michael's, and we just need some answers.
Okay. Now, okay, so I'm coming back. Oh, hang on. Yeah, so I'm back in the room. I'm here. I know people were getting confused because they were wondering, am I live or am I? But I am live, but I was showing a video about Ewelina. So yeah, and you'll have to go back to the beginning to see why I was showing that video as well. It's because when I was looking into like the press conference, and when Peter Lawson died, and I was showing the press conference, and then Rebecca Smith in the press conference says, and it's something that I'd not sort of really honed in on before, that when the people, whoever it was, found Willow running around near the bench, they made several inquiries with the vet, And she also said, as I say, you're going to have to look back over the video because I can't show it all again now. But she also said, first, that Penny, which didn't mention Penny by name, but she said that the person went back home. Then she said they didn't go back home. Oh, it was all, she didn't know really what was going on. But she did mention hi, Ocean. She did mention hi, Bridget. She did mention that several inquiries had been made at the vet. So that's what made me think of the vet again. And I wanted to show you the lovely. I wouldn't say it's lovely, but it's dark. Thank you, Renee. Renee says my mum bun. It's a grandmum bun, not a mum bun for me. Mum bun. But people, people generally in Lancashire, they're really nice people. So it's just, I think it's that village. There's just something strange about that village. But it's like any little village. Little villages are different. They are different. I live in a little village. My village is very similar, to be honest, but they're Spanish, but it's the same. They're the same. Having said that, there'll be so much gossip going around that village, but they won't want to share it with outsiders. They'll probably all have their own ideas, and they probably talked about it a lot certainly in the early days. I expect they don't talk about it at all now, but they won't want to share it with outsiders. They'll be a bit like that. But no. Okay, so there's a couple of other things I want to show you before we finish. We could talk about all different cases. There's always a case to talk about, isn't there? Like the guy in the suitcase. Somebody's mentioned in there about Annie Borgeson, which I haven't covered yet, because you just don't. Not only all the cases that there are to cover, but all the new cases coming up all the time. And I try and give a snapshot of most cases. There's a case that I really I think I'm going to look at tomorrow as well. That there's lots of cases. You'd never be short of cases to cover, unfortunately, to try and sort of highlight what has happened to some people. Anyway, but we're going to look at something different now, just to finish off. That's right. Well, that's it. I'm a Lancastrian as well. I'm from Lancashire. Oh dear. Now, one case that I really particularly want to look at. Anyway, I won't talk about what I'm going to do. I won't talk about what I'm going to do. Let's look at something lighter now to finish off. Okay. Jean, what you're talking about there, that video is on one of the Emma videos. Anyway, never mind. Okay, yeah, we're lovely Lancashire lasses. Yeah. Don't think that everybody from Lancashire is a bit odd or whatever. We're not. Right, let's look at something lighter. Let's look at something lighter. We have to finish off on something lighter, don't we? I think actually we'll have one more look at this. Ooh, what the hell's that? I've got so much. Got so many things. So many things. No, that's not the right one. Right, can't find that for some reason. You can tell I'm getting tired now because I'm finding it hard to find things to show you. I knew I had that downloaded already. All right, let's have another look. It's in downloads. So, something a little bit lighter. Sorry, I'm just laughing at myself because I don't even know what button I'm pressing now. Getting tired. It's okay, One Bomber. We're not offended, or I'm certainly not offended. I just think it's quite funny. Let me just. What? Yeah, finally found it. So, just for those of you who might have missed it earlier, this is Nick who ordered these wine glasses, True Crime and a Glass of Wine. Just to show you what they look like, I've got to order some of them as well because they're fantastic, aren't they? Anyway, just to let you know. So that's something a little bit positive. I think Nick, maybe, I don't know if they're still on. If they finished their wine or not. They said that they only had a little bit left, but does look good. I've got wine too, but I've got it in my golden goblet, of course. In fact, I might need a little bit more in a minute. True Crime in a glass of wine. Rini, I did see the email you went. It confused me as well, but I can't talk about that. You know, as you know, I don't talk about things on live. I meant to answer, but I got a lot of people sent me that very same email, as you can imagine. But anyway, I will reply. I will reply. No, don't worry. We don't get offended on here anyway, One Bomber. We don't get offended. Not as long as someone's not nasty. Now, right, let me find the things. So I've got some lighter things to show you all. Well, not necessarily lighter, but interesting things. Yeah. And I can find them. Oh, and did you see that I mean, one thing that totally intrigued me was that I've been blocked by Mark Williams Thomas, or whatever his name is, on Twitter. I've actually been blocked. I just cannot get over that. I didn't know I was that important that I would have to get blocked. But this, you'll find this funny. Oh, Jim's on mulled wine. Yeah, lovely. Can you believe it? Can you believe it, DMV? Oh my God. Just because I pulled him up, because I don't agree with what he says about Oscar Pistorius being innocent and about Michelle Mone being innocent, because he just follows the money, doesn't he? Whatever he does. Hi, Mark, if you happen to be watching. He just follows the money. Whatever he does, it's all about money, and he changes his mind and according to whatever, you know, he thinks he can get something out of. Bye, Paulie. True crime and an empty glass of wine. Right. I am getting to this. I am getting to this. Now, did you see this? I love this. This is, do you remember the BBC presenter that supposedly put a middle finger up? And it turns out she was actually doing a countdown, you know, to going live. I think the BBC released this on purpose to try and look cool or relevant or something. But it is quite funny.
Live from London, this is BBC News.
It is brilliant, and it's the way her eyebrow just raises. I'm thinking of using this as the countdown for when I do a premiere. You know, we could have this countdown at the end. It'd be hilarious. But maybe I should do it.
Live from London, this is.
I think it's nice to see that people have a sense of humour, don't you? You know, I mean, it's brilliant. And I'm sure the BBC did it on purpose, just to
BBC
sort of
News.
be entertained.
Live from London, this is BBC.
Brilliant. So I wanted to show you that because I thought it was quite funny. And I thought that might cheer us up after we've been talking about more serious things. Oh, Paulie, hopefully we'll see you before Christmas. We've still got some funny things. We've still got some videos to go before. Yeah. Well, David, I don't know if you're on Twitter or Twitter, as I call it, or X, as it's called now. But did you know that Mark Williams Thomas was on there defending Michelle Mone? Says he's been doing a detailed investigation, and Michelle Mone, he calls her Baroness Michelle Mone. I wouldn't even use that title for her because it's just awful. You know, all the way the titles are used these days is terrible. But anyway, he was defending it and saying he'd made this investigation and blah, 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 blah. So I responded to it. This is what I think's peed him off, because I've responded to him sometimes I say nice things to him or whatever, you know, if I think he's not very often, to be honest, lately, but and he'd made this comment about Michelle Mone, and I said, oh my God, first Oscar Pistorius and now you're defending Michelle Mone. You know, I can't remember exactly what, but you always follow the money. Oh, and I think I made something about you and your mate, PF, which, you know, because I was probably a bit angry at the time about Peter Folding. I said, you know, it's wrong what you're doing. And yeah, so I've been, now I wasn't blocked instantly, but a lot of people liked that tweet. You know, I don't go on Twitter a lot. I've not got a big presence on Twitter. I don't even like it. I don't like Twitter, but it's just something that's there, social media that's there to sort of, I don't know, advertise a channel or whatever, and people do go on there. So for a while I wasn't blocked, but I got a lot of likes on that post, a lot of people liking it. So I think the reason that I've been blocked is he didn't like it because it got too many people agreeing with it. And it was only because today I thought, oh God, I haven't heard anything. You know, there's been no tweets from Mark Williams-Thomas for ages. You know, surprised that he hadn't made a tweet about Gaynor Lord, because even Peter Folding had made a tweet about Gaynor Lord, or several tweets. And I thought, oh, and I just looked on it and there I was, blocked. But anyway, never mind. I won't take it offensively. Oh, thank you, Paulie. That's a very long Subway Army. Paulie, Amy, Subway. And it's a long candle, but thank you, Paulie. Yeah. That's it, exactly, David. I think it got traction, so he just decided, probably any other comment I've ever made, probably never got much traction. So he probably brushes off a lot of comments, and because he will get trolled. Suppose I was trolling him, really, if you think about it that way. But I was just saying how I felt, especially, that's when I went off him. It was the Oscar Pistorius thing. Because he's been writing a book about Oscar Pistorius, and suddenly now Oscar Pistorius is innocent, you know, and that just makes me angry, because Oscar Pistorius is not innocent, you know. But anyway, yeah, Ocean. Well, he sort of lives off that. His investigation into Savile, he sort of lives off that. That's the one thing. But do you know what he knew about Savile? You know, before you sort of think of that, he knew about Savile for years, and he never said anything until he was dead. And that was another thing that annoyed me about a lot of people. It's all right, you know, after they're dead, saying this, that, and the other. But basically, he knew about it for years, and he said nothing, so it means nothing, really. Yeah, well, exactly, but he only did it after Jimmy Savile was dead. Nobody spoke out properly against Jimmy Savile. The only person who spoke out properly against Jimmy Savile while he was alive was John Lydon, Johnny Rotten. He tried, and he was shut down straight away. Shut down. You know, don't say that about Jimmy Savile. Mark Williams-Thomas said nothing about Jimmy Savile, but he knew about him. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, he did. He knew about Savile for years. Everybody did, didn't they? And the only person who did say anything was Johnny Rotten, and he got reviled for it. Oh, as I'm saying this, I've got Sky News on the TV, and I'm just looking at, you know, so of course the other news today has been about Prince Harry, hasn't it? And he's been found exonerated in this Mirror Group newspaper thing. I think we need to have a look at that, actually, because Piers Morgan is having a practical heart attack. Oh, right. So there's a few that, just let me give you another little bit of news while I'm on. Matthew Perry, who played Chandler in Friends. I don't know if you've seen the news, but he is a big loss to the world, in my eyes anyway. He has been found that his death was an accident from the acute effects of ketamine. A post-mortem was found. So he was found, as we know, unresponsive in his swimming pool. I thought it was in the jacuzzi, but anyway, now they're saying the swimming pool. And he was pronounced dead at the age of 54 by paramedics. So anyway, apparently it's been found out it is post-mortem. Contributing factors to his death were drowning, coronary artery disease, and the effects of buprenorphine used to treat opioid use disorder. I mean, at the end of the day, he was lucky to live that long in a way. I mean, it's very young, of course, 54, but he did, by his own admission, abuse his body in every way, you know, because he drank, he took drugs, he took prescription drugs. You know, he did not look after his body for a long portion of his life. But Apparently, he was receiving ketamine infusion therapy for depression and anxiety, and the most recent dose reportedly taken 1.5 weeks before his death. So it says the ketamine in his system at death could not be from that infusion therapy, since ketamine's half-life is 3 to 4 hours or less. So I think what they're trying to say, that he'd probably taken some extra ketamine and he shouldn't have done. But I've been listening to his memoir, listening to his book, like on a podcast type thing, read by himself. Oh gosh, you know, I mean, it's amazing, isn't it, when someone can have everything? You know, he's very handsome. He was earning fortunes. You know, you think they've got a person who's got everything that anybody would ever want. And he was so unhappy, very unhappy, and he's very brutally honest. If you ever get a chance to listen to that, I would definitely recommend it, because he's very, very brutally honest about, you know, what a prat he was, basically. You know, and he had so many chances. He just couldn't. There was just something with him that he just kept throwing everything away. Every time but as time went on, and when he did finally get clean, he did start, didn't he, to what's the word, he used his life on a positive step. You know, he helped other addicts, etc. So he, apart from making everyone laugh for so many years, he did do a lot of positive things in his life. He's left a very good legacy. It's always made me cry looking at him there. You know, and as of when I did a video about it before, Friends is multi-generational. Everybody loves Friends, or most people love Friends, all different ages. You know, and you can talk to your mom, your grandma, your daughter, your son, whatever age anyone is. Friends crosses a lot of boundaries. So anyway, that was actually one thing I just wanted to share, that his cause of death has been established at his post-mortem. So what I want to look at now is, see if it comes up on here, just what I saw there, because it made me laugh anyway, just to see Piers Morgan really annoyed, because you know Piers Morgan has got this total obsession with Prince Harry and Meghan, and whatever you do or don't think about the royal family, or about Prince Harry or Meghan or whatever, what I've literally never understood is this total obsession that Piers Morgan has with Prince Harry and Meghan. Hi, Matt. So he's saying, well, he's lying straight away here. He says he's never hacked a phone. Of course he's hacked a phone. He's well known for it. He's a liar.
The judgment finds there is just one article relating to the Prince, published in the Daily Mirror during my entire 9-year tenure as editor, that he thinks may have involved some unlawful information gathering. To be clear, I had then, and still have, zero knowledge of how that particular story was gathered.
Oh, whatever.
All his other claims against the Daily Mirror under my editorship were rejected. With regard to the judge's other references to me in his judgment, I also want to reiterate, as I've consistently said for many years now, I've never hacked a phone or told anybody else to hack a phone, and nobody has produced any actual evidence to prove that I did. I wasn't called as a witness, it's important for people to know this, by either side in the case, nor was I asked to provide any statement. I would have very happily agreed to do either or both of those things had I been asked. Nor did I have a single conversation with any of the Mirror Group lawyers throughout the entire legal process. Finally, I want to say this. Prince Harry's outrage at media intrusion into the private lives of the royal family is only matched by his own ruthless, greedy, and hypocritical enthusiasm for doing it himself. He talked today about the appalling behaviour of the press. But this is a guy who's repeatedly trashed his family in public for hundreds of millions of dollars, even as two of its most senior and respected members were dying, his grandparents. It's hard to imagine, frankly, more appalling behaviour than that. As for him saying this is a good day for truth, the Duke has been repeatedly exposed in recent years as someone who wouldn't know the truth if it slapped him around his California tanned face. He demands accountability for the press, but refuses to accept any for himself for smearing the royal family, his own family, as a bunch of callous racists without producing a shred of proof to support those disgraceful claims. He also says he's on a mission to reform the media when it's become clear his real mission, along with his wife, is to destroy the British monarchy. And I will continue to do whatever I can to stop them.
Oh dear. Well, he's rattled, isn't he? I think I might have to tweet him later and see if he blocks me as well. So there you go. Exactly, Selena. Hi, Animal Anti-Bev. Julie Dawn saying, piss off, Piers. Yeah, it's just, honest to God, all this comes down to, you know, I'm not a royalist, I'm a Republican, so I'm not taking sides whatsoever in any of it. I don't really care about the royal family, any of them, to be honest. But if I had to, I like Harry probably better than most of them, but, you know, I don't really have an opinion. I don't want to upset anyone. But Piers Morgan has just never got over the fact that Meghan blanked him. And he's just obsessed with it. You know, he can't move on, can he? Can't move on. He's like some creepy stalker, you know, and the more that she doesn't even rise to it or even mention him, the more irritated he gets about it. It's so funny. Dear me, dear me. That's it. I love Harry. If I, well, I say I love it. I don't love him. He's like, I don't know. He doesn't have any relevance in my life. The royal family don't have, you know, they don't think about me before they go to bed at night, and I don't think about them before I go to bed at night. But I think, oh dear me, it's like, it's ridiculous. Piers Morgan, and he's, you know, he sort of ruined his own career, didn't he, in a way? I was quite enjoying watching him on Good Morning Britain because I thought he was quite good with the politicians and things, and during COVID, and then there was the Captain Tom thing, of course, and that's all gone tits up, if you pardon the expression. And he was, he's just made a total cojones of everything, but I just don't know why he's obsessed with Meghan Markle. I honestly do not understand. Oh, there, Daisy, she agrees with Piers. Well, that's what I do love it. We can all have our different opinions. Some people loving Piers and some people loving Harry. You know, that's it. We've all got our opinions. I never had anyway, the only thing is, it's just, I just don't understand why he's so obsessed. It seems like a stalking obsession to me. I mean, yeah, talk about it and get over it. Oh dear, a lot of people have got an opinion out this, I can see. Dear me. Okay, I have got one more thing to show you. So this, Mal, sorry to hear you've got a migraine. I hope you're feeling better now. But, you know, to me, Piers, because as someone who has had a stalker years ago, to me, Piers reminds me of a stalker and that anger. Because when you ignore someone, like, you know, I've had this recently with a YouTube creator, I think. Men of that, how do I explain it without upset? Men of that type, men like Piers Morgan, they don't like being ignored. That's the worst thing you can do to them, is ignore them, really. They want a response and they're trying to get a response from you sometimes. and you ignore them, and they build up into a fury. He looked like he was going to pop then, didn't he? He was getting that anger. I've had that recently from a creator. It's like, you know, getting so angry about somebody who, you know, literally, he has not even met Meghan for God knows how many years. Why is he still so obsessed? You know, it's not right. It's weird. And then he was getting so angry, you thought he could just pop. You know, he wants to watch his blood pressure, I think. I really think he needs to watch his blood pressure. Yeah, let's not. Oh, yeah. Dear me. Anyway, so moving on from that, because you know that's a whole another thing, and we're getting a little bit of a mixture of things to talk about tonight. But just one last thing, which I don't know if you'll want to watch it or not, but I thought it was sort of interesting, is the way that you'll explain it. Something that somebody sent to me. Let's have a look. Now, what I just want to remind you of, do you remember when we there was that video that circulated, that Zoom video about the council meeting, and the those two guys got really upset with that woman and told her she had no jurisdiction here. It was something in COVID. I can't remember which council it was. But anyway, it caused like an internet sensation, didn't it? She was on TV talking about it because they got so angry with this woman. And it was like a big thing. Anyway, somebody sent me this, which I tell you what, if you think that's bad, that council thing, that council sort of explosion or that council argument. This is a councillor in the Ukraine. And this councillor walked into a council and started throwing grenades, live grenades on the floor. So this is the moment a Ukrainian local councillor detonated grenades. And I'm laughing. I'm not laughing because it's funny, because it's not funny because people are in hospital because of it. But it's just crazy, isn't it? I mean, talk about bonkers. You know, we think, you know, how people can get so angry about council things. I mean, for God's sake, they've got a war going on in Ukraine, and why is he getting so angry about what they're talking about at this council meeting that he's got so angry? He's walking in and detonating grenades. And where did he get the grenades from? Because, you know, there was a lot of weapons given out at the beginning of the Ukraine war, or the Russia and Ukraine war, in some sort of, so this is another thing we could get, you know, into a sort of an argument about, but we don't argue. We just, you know, in the beginning, Zelensky was just handing out weapons all over. It was a bit of a propaganda thing. So he was giving out weapons left, right, and centre to all the people to protect Ukraine, the People's Army, and this, that, and the other. God knows what weapons are circulating around Ukraine now, you know, amongst the normal population, not amongst the army. I'm talking about he was giving them out to the local population. Which just was not a good thing. You can imagine probably a lot of women weren't safe after that when all these men got guns and things. But anyway, where have these grenades come from? Have they come from that when they were just doling out weapons left, right, and centre? So let's have a look. Sorry, I'll just go back to the beginning. So he's said to have feuded with them over a pay increase. So he's literally taken. So 26 people were injured and 6 were in a grave condition. Can you imagine? He's literally walked into a council meeting, took out a load of grenades, well, 2 I think there were, 2 grenades, flung them on the floor because he didn't get the pay increase that he wanted. Crikey. I'll tell you what, it's a mad world that we live in. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. There you go. Now, don't think I'm laughing because I think it's funny, but do you know what? The world is crazy sometimes. So I was thinking about that and I thought, oh God, you know, well, hopefully that could never happen in a council meeting in the UK. Nobody would be able to get a grenade, hopefully, for a start. But unbelievable, isn't it? Unbelievable. Oh, dear me, dear me. Mela, that's how I feel. It's like if you didn't laugh, you'd go mad, wouldn't you? Because you just can't believe that anybody would do something like that. It's just crackers. The world's crackers. Yeah, Glasgow seems safer now. Yeah. Yeah, we did. We gave 2. I believed it. Do you know, I was, you know, we all sort of agree on some things, disagree on others. Right from the beginning, I was not behind that at all. And I'll tell you why. It's a meeting of the council in St. Michael's. Oh, do you see, Renee's got the same sense of humour as me. Sometimes you have to have a bit of a dark sense of humour. But yeah, you know, why were we giving all that money to Ukraine when you know, there's children starving in the UK? You know, there's veterans haven't got a roof over their head. There's loads of homeless people. There's families that are homeless, children that are homeless, and we're sending billions of pounds to Ukraine. And I think how I always thought of it is, well, I think it's starting to change now. People are starting to see what Zelensky's like, because at the time when the Ukraine war started, I had a student from the Ukraine, and actually the day that war was declared, we were doing a Zoom class and there were fighter jets going past and bombs going off in the background. He's in Kiev. Anyway, so to cut a long story short, I learned a lot from him about Zelensky, and he's Ukrainian. Not all the Ukrainians like Zelensky. You know, they don't. And a lot of Ukrainians do feel Russian more than Ukrainian. So it's a lot more complicated than it was given to be in the propaganda. Like, but and one thing that Zelensky did that was bad in the beginning was just giving out all these weapons, or left, right, and centre. All the weapons that we'd probably sent. While meantime, you know, British children are starving. But anyway. Yeah, crazy. Yeah, most wars, aren't they, Mal? All wars, all, you know, situations are never that black and white. Wars, things like that. It's always much more complicated than you're given to believe, and we get the impression from the mainstream media we are fed whatever the narrative is. Sometimes we agree with the narrative, sometimes we don't. But it's hard to go against the narrative, because if you go against the narrative, I found that recently just on a small way, you know, is if you go against what the majority of people think, you know, you come in for a lot of stick, but you have to, you know, can only speak as I find. I would never go along with the narrative just because that's the narrative. I look into it and I make my own mind up. But there's always more things going on that meet the eye. And my student actually himself, he said to me that when he never watches the mainstream news in Ukraine, because he said it's all propaganda. So he'd take his news from social media and then decide where the truth lies. And I think that's why I always had a different idea about the Ukraine war right from the beginning, because of what he told me, and he is Ukrainian. So yeah, question everything. Exactly, Animal Antibeth. You have to question things. You know, you can't just accept things. It's like anything I present to you or I say. I don't expect you to just think, oh, well, Vicky said it, so it's right. No, you have to make your own mind up. You watch everything, what, you know, different creators say different things about different things. And then you come to your own decision. Yeah, a media war in the Ukraine. Zelensky doesn't really care about the Ukrainian people. He's another one. He's just out for himself. You know, if he cared about the Ukrainian people, he would have tried to make some peace one way or another. But he wasn't interested. He said he's not interested in making peace because he's in his little ivory tower. He's not being bombed. You know, Kiev was like, people were going there and visiting politicians, rock stars, actors. So it wasn't a dangerous place, Kiev. You know, my student was in Kiev and they thought it was dangerous in the beginning and they fled to the country. But in the end, they went back to Kiev because actually it wasn't dangerous in Kiev. And if it would, I just thought, well, why are all these people, you know, Boris Johnson was there every 5 minutes. Everybody was there visiting it. It couldn't be that dangerous, could it? You know, so you've just got to, yeah, well, Zelensky was a comedian, wasn't he? An actor and a comedian, but anyway. So yeah, we need to do that. War needs to finish now in the Ukraine, because it should never have started. And I'm not defending Putin, don't get me wrong, because I'm not. All war is wrong in my eyes. You know, it doesn't matter. You know, I'm not defending Putin but who are the people that suffer? The civilians. Putin's not getting bombed, is he? Zelensky's not getting bombed. The people that are getting bombed are the civilians having to live through all that. It's awful. Awful. Yeah. Oh. Oh, that's nice. That's good news, Bridget. Apparently a 4-month-old baby has been found alive in a tree after a hurricane in the USA. Oh my God. I've got a very interesting video of Zelensky that I can show you. Well, I can't show it now because it's on my phone, but yeah. Okay. Now somebody, hi Rachel. Dearie. Oh, it's all going. I wanted to answer some. So Jim, a narrative is what the mainstream media decide. So the mainstream media will come out with something and they'll say Putin's bad, for example. Yeah, Putin's the aggressor. Putin is good. Zelensky. Putin is bad. Zelensky is good. Do you remember at the beginning he was going round? They beamed in like a thing from Zelensky, and our parliament all stood up and cheered him and everything. And not only our parliament, he went all over the world doing that. You know, he was like, he's good at media. He's because he was an actor and a comedian. He's good at media presentation. You know, he's like, he presented this narrative, you know, that Ukraine is good and Russia is bad, which actually, if you look back into the history of this whole argument between Ukraine and Russia, goes back. There's a very good documentary. I don't know if it's still on Netflix. It was on Netflix. It's called Ukraine on Fire. And if you want a different narrative, so what a narrative is a different view. The Ukraine on Fire documentary was made before this war, because this war really has gone on since 2013 and probably even further back. But it's interesting to see a different point of view. I don't like it when you get one narrative just shoved down your throat and they never show you the other side of it. You know, whichever way it is, it's important to see both sides of it, whatever, because there's always more than one side to everything. But anyway. Oh dear. Yeah, that little baby that was found in a tree will be called Tarzan or Jane, depending if it's a boy or a girl. Yeah, so whatever the mainstream media is telling you to think, that's the narrative. And then, but sometimes it, you know, you just have to look into the things behind it. Sometimes it's true, sometimes it isn't. I hate war. I am a pacifist. I know it's difficult. Sometimes you have to go to war, but war is a terrible thing. It just is such a terrible thing. You know, it causes, apart from death and, you know, it's just horrible, isn't it? And then there's the PTSD afterwards, and it's just awful. And it's always innocent people who die. So the people that start wars, you know, the politicians or whoever it is, sitting in their little ivory towers, telling, you know, while normal people being murdered, really. And also animals. We mustn't forget the impact that wars have on animals. It's terrible. So, David, might be called cheater with this look. Oh, dear me. Well, I think that's it. I don't think I've got anything else to show you now. I've run out of things, but I've been on quite a long time, haven't I? Oh my goodness, I've been on for 2.5 hours. That's a lot for me. My voice, because I don't normally, do you know how I've managed to stay on this long? I had a nap. I had a nap earlier. I had a nap. I had something to eat before I started. And that's how I've managed to go on for 2.5 hours. But I will be back tomorrow with the advent calendar. I won't be doing a live tomorrow night unless something mega happens. Definitely, you know, I'm going to have a day off tomorrow. Look, you're all still chatting. You're all enjoying having a chat, aren't you? Oh, I'll tell you what I will do to finish off then. I'll show you the Christmas things. Shall we finish on the Christmas things? Everyone well, DMV's fallen asleep, but everybody else seems quite awake. I won't sing because my voice is going, and I'm sure you'll be glad that I'm not singing anyway. Right, let's have a look at our Christmas things that people have sent before we finish. Some lovely pictures on here, really, really beautiful. Oh, there you go. That's Princess Tia having a little bath. Shh. Our little Christmas montage. Thank you so much, everyone that's sent in anything Christmassy. If you have sent something in and it's not on here, it'd just be that I haven't got around to uploading it yet. So the person who won this hamper is online tonight. I wonder if there's any of it left. Ah, some lovely pictures. Make us feel Christmassy. There you go, Jim. There's your goats. Boris is the one standing up and Billy is the one not standing up. Ah. Now, this is one of my chatters who might want to reveal themselves, who's got all these deers coming in their garden. They've got a male deer now coming in. Oh, these doggies. Oh, just lovely. All the, look at that, beautiful. Some beautiful pictures. Make us feel all Christmassy. Yeah, Heather, 3 deers she's had come in her garden. So she's building up to the, I think actually, probably Santa is sending those deers into your garden and say, get some good food down your neck before you've got to pull the sleigh. Oh. Yeah, are we feeling Christmassy? Oh, beautiful picture again. I love this dog. This dog, it just reminds me so much of our German Shepherd. Oh, off for the Christmas train. Ah, there you go, Jim. There's Marvin. Yeah, all these Father Christmases. Come on, you need to get your Christmas outfits on, people. Send me your photos. Oh. Yeah, that's beautiful. They've just been sent this today. This is Manchester. Beautiful. Heather.
Alexa, turn on Christmas
Sorry,
lights.
Wendy. Just still amuses me.
Alexa, turn on Christmas lights.
Oh, I love that. Never fails to amuse me. I've got the sooty thing here. All swaying from side to side. That's lovely, isn't it? I do like all the sparkly lights and things. And it always, because this is Zeus, so his name begins with Z, so he's always the late one, and he got the last one because it's a Z. And he got his ball off the Christmas tree. Oh. I think there's something about carols and things like that as well. You know, it's yeah. You don't have to be religious, Renee, do you? It's just sounds beautiful. Yeah. Jean, I think German Shepherds do, don't they? Our German Shepherd, she thinks he's human as well. She's a bugger. Caroline, I know what you mean. I mean, it's not as hot here as it is there, but it's still sunny, and there's something that you want it to be cold. What I normally do on Christmas Day, honest to God, I just pull my blinds down, and whatever the weather's like outside, I pretend it's freezing cold in that, because otherwise it wouldn't feel like Christmas. So okay, now I really am going now. Thank you so much for your company. Thanks for being here with me tonight. I think we've talked about such a lot of different things. I'm going to go off and listen to it again now, probably, and see how long I can stay awake. But I'll see you tomorrow. And remember to live and love wisely, carefully. I like to put my little banner on at the end normally. Also, we did have a new, didn't we get a new member tonight? Yes, Marcy was a new member. Thank you, Marcy, for joining or rejoining. I'm not sure if she's joined or rejoined, but thank you anyway. Thank you for all of you for liking. Don't forget to like on the way. If you didn't like on the way in, remember to like on the way out. And remember to live and love wisely, carefully. Look after yourselves, because you are the most important person. And I'll see you really soon, as always, in the next video. And until then, may your God go with you. Thank you.